Hi, my name is Dino Martinez. I'm with the UAB Career Center. Some of you have already submitted that application for that next big opportunity, whether it's a part-time job, full-time job, maybe even an internship. So now you're preparing for your interview and you're wondering how you are going to prepare, what type of questions they're going to ask. Well, there's a number of different types of interview formats and questions that you may receive. We're going to talk about three of those. First one we're going to talk about is the situational, or sometimes referred to as hypothetical type questions or format. Generally, the interviewer might start off with, what would you do in this particular scenario or this particular type of situation? What would you do? For the most part, the interviewer is trying to gauge, more or less like, for example, your on-the-spot critical thinking or your organization skills in terms of how do you walk through a particular hypothetical situation. They may also be looking for a glimpse into your professional or ethical decision making. Okay, so now let's talk about the behavioral based, which is another popular interview format. The behavioral based format or question, instead of asking you what would you do, we'll pretty much start off with, tell us about a story when. Tell us when you've made a mistake. Tell us when you worked with someone who was difficult. So now they're asking you to sort of like share a story about your past experience or your past performance. And the reason why they're looking for this is the fact that there is a big belief out there that your past experience is a good indication to them in regards to your future performance. So we have the situational, which will ask you what would you do. We have the behavioral based that will ask you to tell us about a time. And then there's also the competency based, which is a lot like the behavioral based interview. The competency based may be more specific or focused on the specific position and the skill sets required for that particular position. For example, if there's a particular skill set, let's say, for example, a software program that you're going to be running in that particular job. So they may ask you, tell us about a time when you used this particular type of software or something similar to it. There again, they're trying to gauge in regards to your past experience with that particular software or a situation or skill set that's connected to the position that you're applying for. So in essence, you have the situational or hypothetical, what would you do if? Then you also have the behavioral based, tell us about a time, which is very similar to the competency based in regards to tell us about a time when you have done something very specific. All right. Now, how do you respond to any one of those questions? We pretty much will refer you to using what's referred to as the STAR method. STAR. S stands for situation. For example, whether it's in the hypothetical or whether it's in the behavior-based or competency-based type format, you would describe more or less like the situation that you were in. In the hypothetical, they've already told you the situation that you're in, so you can go ahead and paraphrase that. Then the T stands for task. Here's the task that I had to do. All right. There again, in the situational, they may already have told you what you have done or the task. But you're going to start off with the situation, which is the S. T is the task that you had to do. A is the action. What action did you take? Or what action are you going to take if you're in the situation? And then R are the results. For the situational, the R would be what you hope to be able to have as results, depending on what you have decided or shared as your action. In the behavioral or competency base, you're talking about here's the results that actually occurred in my past experience. So STAR, situation, task, action, and results will be a great path to be able to answer any of those type of questions in the situational, in the behavioral, or in the competency-based interview. Now, generally, I would tell you that if you did that using the STAR or STAR method, you did a good job. But I want you to go from good to great. I want you to become a great storyteller. So especially in the behavioral-based or the competency-based, it would be fantastic to be able to talk about what I refer to as the moral of the story. So you're telling them in regards to, here's the situation that I was in, here's the task that I had to do, the action that I took, and the results. from that experience, this is what I have gained professionally. Or it was this particular experience that helped cemented my decision to become an engineer or a doctor or whatever it may be, or go into healthcare, whatever it may be. All right. But you're going to talk about, I refer to it as the moral of the story, but it's more like, what did you learn from that particular experience? All right. Using the STAR, and then talk about what you gained from that experience, or what I refer to as the moral of the story, can help you develop better answers in those interviews. If you need additional support, you can go into Handshake and set up an appointment with one of our peer career advisors. They'll be more than willing to help you with answering questions about interview preparation, but also do mock interviews with you as well. Now, speaking of mock interviews, you can also, while you're in Handshake, go into our resource area. You do this by going into Handshake, click on Career Center. Then from Career Center, you're going to click on the box that says Resources. When you click on Resources, scroll down until you get to a document called Interview Stream. Once you get into Interview Stream, it's a fantastic program that with your laptop or desktop or even your phone, anything with a camera, you can actually develop and build your own interview, or customize an interview, or do a mock interview right there and record it, play it back, and learn from your mistakes or your performance. So that's Interview Stream. So now we have your PCA, set up a mock interview with the PCA, or you can do a mock interview stream. You can also, many of you are automatically enrolled into our Career Center course, Canvas course. In that Canvas course, we actually have a module in regards to interviewing. And so you can actually take our interview course, which will still walk you through Interview Stream. We also have other resources about interview preparation in Handshake as well in that resource tab. So, quickly, situational, behavioral, competency-based interviews. And the situational is going to ask you, what would you do? Behavioral and competency may ask you in terms of, tell us about a time when you have done something. But using the STAR method, that situational, task, action, and result, and then following up in regards to how that particular experience has helped develop who you are, is going to help you become a much better interviewer and a much better storyteller in your interviews. Again, Dino Martinez in the Career Center. Thanks for watching.